Hi. So, I was raised in a Baptist church, North Creek Baptist Church, and we would ride sometimes in the van, like the what do we ride in the van for? Hold on. I can't remember. It was like a van where they picked up kids and stuff. It might have been for like certain services or something. I don't know. Anyway, we would go to North Creek Baptist Church, and so as a child, that's where I was raised. We grew up in like the sticks. It was far away from everything. So going to church for me was like a huge outing. I enjoyed it. I also enjoyed going to church camp. There were sponsors. They were called sponsors. They got to donate money for kids to go to church camp. I'm super grateful for that. So thank you for that, whoever you are. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to go. But I did go to church camp, and it was in Waco, Latham Springs in Waco. And those were some of my most memorable experiences, like spiritually and with God. Even though, as a child, even though it wasn't very like focused on spirituality. It was more like Bible study, and they had, the sermons at night and things like that, and stuff. But, I was a very like spiritual child, and I guess I didn't I don't think I really knew any different, but no one really talked about it. As a child, we lived, the house that we lived in, all of us, there were 13 of us in this one house. Even though my dad and my mom and the 4 of us moved also like a lot too, but within the same town into different houses, and then in between moving to the different houses, we would move into my grandparents' house too. Okay, so it was, I don't know what's going on with my light, but yeah. Anyway. Okay, so those were some of my most, I feel like they were some of my most spiritual experiences. And, I think every time they said, would you like to give your heart to the Lord, and walk up to the front, and all that stuff, I always went. I just knew from a young age, God, was within me. It was like I had this, I don't know how to describe it, relationship with God already, I guess. But anyway, that's not how it was taught when I was growing up at all. Okay, so fast forward to 2008. Okay, 2008, I had experimented with a lot of things. Had a 6-year-old, had been married for 7 years, and did a lot of partying and crazy stuff, right? Just wanted to experience life and all it had to offer, everything. That's what my life was about for me, was experiences, right? So a friend of mine invited me to church in 2008, and I had seen a change in her you know, she stopped wanting to party. You know, she just, like, she was going through some heavy stuff in her life, but she was able to pull through it. Like, she had, like, this faith. Like, it was amazing. And, you know, I saw that change in her, and so I was like, yeah, let's go. So I went to church with her. And, you know, I had visited different churches throughout the years and stuff, but this one, like, it was exactly what I felt like was right for my soul and was right. Something, it was like I always knew who God was, like, and that's what was taught there. And so it was amazing. His name was Pastor Kent Brown. They became like a family to us, big time. It was an apostolic church, Covenant House, an apostolic church. Amazing. Okay, so then she invited me to a women's retreat. And Lavon Chandler was the speaker there. We stayed for, I think it was 2 nights there. And this one night, I think it might have been the first night, my ex-husband wasn't happy that I went. I don't know that he really understood what we were doing. You know, he already didn't trust me because I wasn't exactly the best wife at times. You know, we got married so young, and like, anyway. Okay, so we went there, and that night, they said, if you've never had, gosh, this looks hideous, I know. They said, if you've never had baptism of the Holy Spirit, come forward. And, like, I didn't come forward at first, but I felt this, like, pressure pulling me forward. It's like I had to go, you know, and I knew the pull of God. I knew what that felt like, and that's what it was. And so I went up there, and, you know, I watched people. She laid hands on people, and they would fall to the ground and stuff. She got to me, and I had only met this lady like once. I think I'd met her once, briefly, and she said, okay, so then she laid her hand on me, and I didn't automatically receive the Holy Spirit. I don't know why. I wasn't scared. It's just, I don't know what the heck the problem was. I don't guess I really knew what she was doing. Yeah. Okay, so then she said, okay, listen. God's offering you a drink. Are you going to take the drink or not? She said, if your little girl was standing right there wanting a drink, she was thirsty, and you gave her a drink, would you want her to drink it or not? And I said, yes. She said, okay, well, your daddy God is giving you something to drink, and he wants you to drink it. And then all of a sudden, I'm on the floor. And when I opened my eyes, I kept on saying, I was just, like, my spirit, it was saying home over and over again. Home, home, like that. Home, like that. Yep. And that was the most spiritually clear, I want to say, like, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually clear that I've ever felt. Ever. okay? And like ever. So that whole night we're staying in an RV there, and that entire night, like, I could barely sleep because I was so excited. My spirit was so excited because it felt like home. I don't know how to describe it. Okay? Yeah. And so, and I was praying in the spirit, like, constant, like, it wouldn't stop. It was just, I was so on fire. I was so on fire. And I got home and I still couldn't stop praying in the spirit. My ex-husband would catch me like at the window. We had this big bay window, and I would watch like lightning storms and stuff like that out of it. I really enjoyed doing that, and I was kind of doing that one night, and he came up the stairs and heard me, and I was trying not to let him hear me. Like, I didn't want to scare him or freak him out, And so he heard me one time, and that's whenever he started going to church with me. And so fast forward to now. I know it freaks people out whenever you hear people praying and like speaking in tongues and praying in the spirit and things like that. I know it's kind of weird, and it's like, what in the world? But it's the language of your soul. Okay? And the reason that I was saying home over and over, I believe, is because that's where that came from. That's where that peace of soul or Holy Spirit or whatever came from, was what my soul knew as home. I just got chills everywhere saying that out loud. All right. Okay, it was like a missing piece that, like, I've been craving for so long and I didn't realize it, right? Yeah. Okay, you might hear people say, call it light language. I do sometimes, because now I'm familiar with, my star family and things like that, okay? People call it light language because it's not a language that is known and like spoken or recorded in here on earth, okay? Speaking in tongues and light language are basically the same thing, okay? Except they come from different like rays, okay? And the rays come from the central sun. Thank you. Okay. So light language is healing. It's meant to heal. It's your soul is speaking. Sometimes if it's just you and you're praying, sometimes then you don't know what to pray. You speak it because your soul knows what to pray. Your soul knows what it needs and how to ask for it and things like that. And light language is kind of the same thing, except you might hear it called like codes, like light codes. That's another thing it is too, because it's like coding that um, that you can't, like, we can't really decipher here in this on earth right now, okay, because people don't know what it means and things, okay, but it's all good, okay. um Sound healing is kind of like that, all right. I don't know if you know, but like different hertz of music, like frequencies, like this one is 396 hertz that I'm listening to right now, things like that, okay. There's coding, and there's different frequencies, and there's a major healing in the what we speak and the sounds that we make, okay. All right, and if people are doing light language and you use your discernment, like as far as they feel like it's like your spirit's telling them that your spirit's telling you that it's you're feeling urged to listen or whatever, okay, that's your discernment. And if you feel like a tightness in the top area of you, and you feel like you don't want to listen, and it's that's usually, to me, in my opinion, that means that your discernment is telling you no, that it's not good for you or healthy for you to listen to, okay. Now there's a difference between that and like feeling pressure anywhere on your body. If you feel pressure anywhere in your body when you're listening to some sort of light language or glossolalia, tongues or whatever, or light codes, if you feel any pressure anywhere in your body, that's because your aura or your energetic field has blockages. There's areas where there's too much energy there that is heavy and dense, and it needs to clear out. So you just keep listening when that happens, so that the sound healing can help move and dislodge that energy that's in the way of you being in the flow of life, and your energetic field being cleared of any obstacles or dense or dark energy that you've picked up or created. Okay, so there are people who can interpret the glossolalia, the tongues. Okay, they can interpret it. Some of them. Okay. All right. Okay, so also the getting baptized in the Holy Spirit and things is very, very similar to like energy healing or Reiki. Okay, what it's doing is it's bringing in the Holy Spirit or pure divine energy, right? And you're allowing it to enter into your energetic field. What happens then? What happens then is that pure divine energy, that pure divine light, the Holy Spirit, or a pure energy or spirit is entering into your field, and it's so high vibrational that it's raising your vibration, and it's clearing out all of the dense and dark energies around you and within you. Some might call it demons, some might call it whatever, okay? We create some of that, and some of that we pick up from others, especially if we don't know how to clear our energy field. That is a great way to do it. Okay, so just like it's important though to use discernment as far as who is laying their hands on you and who is praying over you and what you're listening to. Okay? So yeah, it's very similar to that. I want to say it's the same thing, but I need to pray more about that before I tell anyone it's the same thing. Okay, it is the same thing as long as, okay, as long as, okay, So the person who is doing the healing or laying their hands on you and such, um, okay, or telling you that they're doing that, is if their energy is clear, that you need make sure that they're keeping their energy clear and they are free of dense and dark energies too, because whatever energies that are within or around them, they're transferring to you. Okay, so say they have like some kind of addiction or problem or something going on in their life, right? Like it won't always like transfer to you, but it will, it can kind of transfer to you. It can transfer to you, okay? And also, not only that, if it doesn't transfer to you, if they have blockages in their crown chakra, their crown chakra, then they're not getting pure divine energy from higher dimensions, okay? Because that's our connection to source and the higher dimensions, okay? That's like, and also a blockage of their heart too, okay? Because it flows synergistically like that. So anytime you get any kind of energy healing or have someone lay hands on you or anything like that, just make sure that you know who their source is, and if their divine light, like if it's coming from source and like from the higher dimensions, okay? So it can flow, and so that um, you're actually getting pure divine light and it's not being tainted by other things or other energies. Anyway, so after 2008, I was on fire. Okay, that's whenever I read the Bible, most of it. I don't have the Bible anymore, but I was so on fire, and I started really, it just awakened something new within me. And, I stopped wanting to party and like all that stuff. Okay, because like I had a newfound sense of who I was. I felt more at home within myself. I just like that Bible, it had freaking, like, I was at work and during my breaks I would just like highlight everything in different colors. That Bible had so many different colors of highlighter in it. It's so funny now. But I really, really studied it a lot, and I prayed a lot, and I just, so much more things made sense in my life. I just recently put two and two together and realized that whenever I get energy work done, I only have one person that works on my energy. That's it. And besides, myself and stuff. And like it feels very, very similar to that. Okay, so as long as someone is working with like source energy and they're keeping that they're keeping their vibration high and they're keeping their energy field clear, then you're receiving pure divine light